Greetings, salutations, soul mutations.
Salutation. Sunshine everywhere.
What is astrology? You know, that's fake made up nonsense, right? What sign are you? You know, lizard, I don't know, snake, something. Doesn't matter. It's not real. It's all fake made up nonsense.
Yeah.
What's interesting about astrology is I actually don't know anything. I mean, I know what they say, is said to be about our personality characteristics and traits that we get when we're born because of the angle of the astral bodies.
Yeah.
Put some kind of energy onto the planet, and at that time and at different angles, depending where that first light touches our skin and imbues us with this energy, which expresses itself in our personalities and in our decision making for the rest of our lives. And all these different bodies, these floating stars, the sun, the moon, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, even Pluto, be like a little prick in the bubble. and it imbues us with these characteristic traits and things like that. And honestly, I don't know too much about that.
Okay.
But there is another story being told in the sky. And there is a story in the sky that does have a huge influence on the planet. And to get into personality traits is interesting and things like that, but there's more profound effects that are the sun is having on all of life, because it is making all of the life, the sun. And it has different angles throughout the year depending on you know, where the planet is and the angle that it's having and the light hitting it. And also, when we look up at the sun, it is the same size as the moon.
Yeah.
So the moon also has a significant effect on everything. It makes our and the sun gives us our seasons, so now we have this time of winter time, springtime, summertime, fall time, and these seasons are divided also into the beginning of spring, the middle of spring, the end of spring, the beginning of summer, the middle of summer, the end of summer, and et cetera, and so forth for all the seasons. And if you take all 4 seasons and divide it up into these 3 parts, a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like the saga has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And just as we have, that's 12, so we have the 12 signs of the Zodiac. Yeah, and these are these star formations. Now, if you were to look at them, it's basically just connect the dots, right? They're not, you look at the actual stars in the sky, you don't see a ram. You see, it's like just you don't see Aries as the ram. I mean, you can kind of imagine it, I guess, if you're, being you're a astronomy scholar, I suppose. But these are archetypes. These are a story. And so when the sun is in front with the backdrop of these particular constellations, it is implying a certain type of energy and implying a certain type of an energy that's a different angle. And so it's a different energy that is imbuing the entire planet and all life. And in humans, sure, it also maybe gives us these different personality characteristics, which is interesting. But really, this the story of, and it's also our calendar, our time, our measurement of time, and if I want to know what time it is, I would have to look at a clock. But where does the clock come from? With its 12 numbers, right? And this is it. This is the clock, the calendar. We only experience time the way we do here on Earth because of the actual like if we were, I would think if I was living on Jupiter and the day it spins different, a full day is a much different thing. So we would experience time differently as well.
For sure.
So time is this construct of astrology.
Yeah, when you take the whole system, starting from the sun to all the stars, then it defines what we understand as time.
Yeah, so these stories of the stars is super fascinating, and it's divided into 12, and starting at Aries, but some cultures, the Jews celebrate their new year at the fall solstice, the middle of fall, right? And I think after, I don't remember specifically if I kind of dove into astrology or the Bock Saga first, or kind of around the same time, but I believe I was introduced to the Bock Saga first before I really gave any astrology its due. And astrology is really fascinating. It is the hero's journey story, right? Because you have the sun in Aries, right? And it's and we can apply astrology to our bodies, to earthly minerals, like from gold, silver, iron, bronze, copper. I mean, things like that. And so it's kind of like all these characteristics of being imbued with the sun's energy is giving everything else its characteristics, which is very interesting. Yeah. But there's a story of when the sun rises in Taurus, which is the bull, the cow, I should say, because a bull can be any male animal with antlers or horns or something. You can have an elk, is a bull elk, a bull deer, a bull cow, even I think maybe not goats specifically. Are they called bulls? No goats.
No, because they're bucks already.
But so we have the story that, and it's encoded in all of the ancient texts, right? If you go to Sumeria, to the Emerald Tablets of Thought, or Egyptian, the Bible, the Torah, all the books in between, all of these ancient texts, when they talk about religious texts, it's astrology, right? The Lamb of God, that's the sun in Aries. The when you plant your crops, the ideal season to do that, Taurus. And we just entered Gemini, right?
Yeah.
So we just entered Gemini recently. So hopefully the ideal season to plant all of your crops just finished, right? And then now they'll be growing throughout the summertime and things like that. And then you get to Gemini, and so also in Aries represents the top of the head. The bull or the cow is like the big neck. You put a plow on the cow. They have these big necks, so it's kind of ruling the necks and upper shoulder part of the body, right? And then Gemini, we have our hands, our twins, but they're not exactly the same. They fit together. They're mirror images, things like that. So we have the idea of these twins, and then you get into Cancer, right? And so we're telling the story of the sun. When the sun, if you were to take a picture of the sun at the same time every single day, it would make this infinity, this 8 sign, right? And when it hits the top is Cancer, the Tropic of Cancer. It's like the sine wave, but if you were to, it would make this figure 8, right? So at the top of it is Cancer. At the bottom, as the sun move, if you take a picture every day, it'll look like at the top of this 8 or infinity sign. I don't know exactly what angle. It might be kind of like a sideways diagonal, might be. Anyway, but at the top of it is June 21st. Every year, June 21st, the sun is at the highest point. And then
so
for
that's
3
today
days,
when we're going to publish this.
Okay, cool. So today, and then it goes 22nd, 23rd, and then on the 24th, maybe the 25th, it starts going down 1 degree every day until it goes into the middle of this figure 8, and that's a fall solstice, right? And so now, and then that's as it drops down, we go through the rest of Cancer, just like a crab. The sun moves sideways on June 21st to 24th. The sun moves sideways, and then it starts dropping down. And shout out to Micah Dank. He intros all of his videos with this really great explanation of the different signs and their stories. And then you get to Leo, which is ruled by the sun. Leo. Le is smile. O is Udin, the smile of Udin. It's almost like just like the word Sulin. Leo. And so that's when the sun is at its height, right? And then after that, you go into Virgo. This is where we get our virgins, and this is the harvest season, the season of harvest, right? And so, and then after that, you get into Libra, and the sun is being judged, right? This is as you enter Libra, now you're crossing that figure 8 right in the middle, right? The sun is just going into that in Libra season. And then after that, you have Scorpio, and the Scorpion is the betraying, the kiss of the poisonous kiss, for example, right? Or something like that. You get stung by a scorpion and it leaves the poison to linger. And it's not an instantaneous thing, but it is decided that the sun will continue to fall, right? And then the Archer, Sagittarius, finishes the sun off and its final kill shot. And the sun enters its lowest point of the year on December 21st. Every year, the sun is at its lowest point. We call that the winter solstice. And for 3 days, it moves across the sky. So December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and then on the 25th, guess what? It's born. It rises again, and we have entered Capricorn, the goat, the Bock, the Stenbakken, and it starts to climb again, right? And then you get into Aquarius, which is the flood. It's representing the flood. It's the story of Ambrosia. Aquarius was a young boy, and that this is a Greek story of Aquarius, right? And he would bring up the ambrosia, which in Bock Saga is the offerings from the whole planet up to the Aesir king, or not king, but the Allfather, right? So Aquarius is like the ultimate expression of the man, the chosen one, you know, the Aquarius. Anyway, but the story of the Zeus story, he drops his he drops the ambrosia and it floods the world. So this is a flood season, a lot of rain. You can expect a lot of rain and things like that. And then once all that rain is done and everything's flooded, now we move into Pisces, and now we have bodies of water sitting around in Pisces, and then starting over back at Aries. So we have this story, right?
Yeah, except for here it's snow and cold in Aquarius time.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then Pisces time, and when you have slush everywhere. And
Yes.
This mixture.
Yeah. So maybe snow is a better, as you get to the top of the mountain, as the goat is climbing to the top of the mountain, now it's all the snow and it's actively snowing, and at the bottom of the mountain it's raining, something like that. Yeah. But what I feel like is missing from the story, right? We have, so like in Libra, right? You get words like, Libra is one of my favorite signs to kind of consider, because you go into any courtroom in the United States, at least, they have the scales of justice, right? And it's always a woman holding these scales, right? It's the balance, holding everything in balance, right? And that makes perfect sense, because right in the fall solstice, like I was describing, we have this figure 8 sign, or infinity, right? And right in the middle is holding, you know, the half of the year and over half the year, you know. So you have this, which way are we going to go, kind of symbol. And it's the same place in Aries, right? It crosses. So in Aries, the spring solstice, the sun's technically in the same place, but now we're in fall, you know. But it's not the same. It's not the same energy, which is interesting. But Libra, you get the scales, and it's also representing the weights, the weight of the, you know, it's the weight of what's weighing on you today, you know. What is your weight? You know, we measure pounds, 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 right? This weighs this many pounds. You guys use kilograms or whatever, right? In England they use stones. But we also call our midsection the waist, the weights, the waist. It is the middle point, right? Our waist is our middle, our central location. But and now again, if you're thinking Aries is the head, Taurus the neck, Cancer the chest, what is it? Leo the heart of a lion, right? You're getting, and then Virgo the virgin. This is like the leaf moda. This is the uterus, right? And you know, this gut area, and then you get down to the waist. So now we're in Libra, and then Scorpio is the last chakra, the 7th chakra, right? Which is the prick, right? Or the genitals. And after that, you get Sagittarius, which is the horse, the archer, the vessel of delivering the sun to the underworld, but also the scientific name, or the old name for horses, is hippo. So a hippopotamus is like potamus means like water. So hippopotamus is a water horse. They're actually talking about horses when you say hippopotamus. And this is the hips, the hippopotamus, the hips. And horses have these hip, you know, they're known for their big hips to be ridden, essentially, right? And then you also have the archer, which is a fertility symbol in the Bock Saga, the bow and arrow, you know, or think of Cupid more. You know, you think of Cupid. And
can be related stories.
Yes. So I kind of want to just like give that little overview of this. There's a story of the sun, right, and how it influences our seasons and things like that. So as kind of an introduction to this idea of what's actually missing, because this story of astrology is telling humans how to live, how to measure time, know what season you're in. Because if you forgot, you weren't paying attention that the sun was in Taurus, you miss this opportunity to grow everything that you'll need to survive this winter time when the time comes. So it's important. The whole year is important for the whole year.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not doing things in a timely manner, seeing the signs in the sky, you know, you know, what do we say? Like, oh, the stars are in alignment when things are going really well. And it's like, no, you're paying attention to the alignment of the astral bodies with the backdrop of the stars. I can keep going, but
I can notice that.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to give that overview, this astrological overview of that there is so much to this astrology, right? And in the words themselves of these signs is a whole language in of itself. And connect that with Bock Saga and the sound system and what's missing in this general explanation is making more people, right? Like you can grow all the crops you want, but is there, and we're like, oh, it's so interesting, like our different personality traits and things like that based on when we're born, but like the process of making children itself is also not also is the most important thing, right? How to sustain ourselves and sustain, you know, where we're planting trees whose shade we'll never sit under. Yeah. That we're always thinking about the next class, the next class, the next class. We're always thinking about the future of humanity. You know, and I think that story is in the stars and is in astrology and always was, but it's almost like taboo to the point where nobody wants to talk about it anymore, or nobody's really addressing.
Not addressing anymore. No, it's like it's the midsummer concept of the Juhannus at the top. When you have the midsummer concept of having babies, making the babies during midsummer, you can like still see it in the mythological perspective, and then also in people's mind that that's the day that you want to get fucked one way or another. But there is missing the whole year system of how do we reach that. Why is this day the important day? Mm-hmm. Kind of. But yeah. Then again, that's also only Finland anymore. You don't have the fertility connection to the midsummer, maybe in other places anymore in the same way. I don't know.
I hear a lot of people talk about it was like a TV series or a movie called like Midsummer's Night's Dream or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a Swedish movie where they follow a certain kind of ritual, but in a movie way. It takes concept of the old ways, but then it makes it into an own kind of movie set.
Yeah.
But you can then question that, is this actually the real concept or is it what they want to show?
Right. And that's what I'm saying is there is something ancient in that celebration.
Yeah.
And I believe they turned it into a horror movie or something like that.
Yeah.
So where it's like a bad thing, or like there's like, you know.
But there is the good part of it, for example, dancing around poles and this kind of fun part of it. But then all the fun, because it's a horror movie, then all the fun become twisted. And then you take concepts of people falling down being completely mysterious and kind of very bad thing to do and so on. So everybody becomes corrupted, just like this.
And that is on the June 24th.
Yeah, that is the official day for the midsummer.
Which is Johannes Day, which is also your name.
Yeah, which is my name day.
And like I said earlier too in the introduction, that is a day where the sun begins its descent. So it is at its ultimate height in the sky. So there's and if we have any idea of Bock Saga, and if any of it is true, these name days have always been these name days.
The name days are relatively new, at least like how the system works now is the Helsinki University decides what names need to be there. So it's a concept which is developed during these past 100 years. But that's the modern almanac, the modern calendar. But the whole concept of that says saga, that it has been since the beginning of times.
Yes.
Okay. But these new days, how they are listed, some are modern, some are old, some include saga things, and some include nature.
So you're saying that maybe 200 years ago, there were no name days?
I'm saying that on black ink on paper.
Got it.
Yeah. We can have the name days in our brains or somebody keeps them up. But on paper, it has been written up.
And so
current system.
There's name days that are so basically every day of the year has a name.
Almost every day. For example, the 25th of 12th doesn't have a name day in Finnish and Swedish. In Orthodox system, it has. But it's like the 25th of 12th, it's a day which is chosen not to have name day.
That's interesting, because that would technically be the new year.
Yeah, New Year's Day.
It would, and so if you take like the moon cycle, which is I think it's just exactly 28 days. It might be like 28 point something.
Yeah.
But times 13 is 364.
Yeah.
And so then you would have one day, a New Year's Day, and then 13 months. And I remember looking into this before. There in Finland, there were actually 13 months that had names.
There are some who talk about 13 names.
Yeah, I've looked into it before, and I had like a link, but I lost it a long time ago. But there was 13, and what's interesting about the names of your months in Finland, still to this day, they kind of imply the same meanings as the like the 12 zodiac signs.
Yeah, they're all agriculture in the basic understanding.
Yeah, so it might be interesting to go over those real quick. So we got January.
Yeah, Tammikuu is January, and Tammi is the oak.
Oak month.
The oak month.
Yes, Kuu is moon. Kuu is moon.
Yeah. And then is Helmikuu. Helmi is the pearl.
Which is Pisces, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Yeah.
Aquarius, Pisces.
Going. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, Aquarius brings the Ambrosia pearl in a way also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to kind of like the whole intro and everything. I just kind of want to give a general that maybe a lot of people already know and things like that, and we're all familiar with. But this other side, this child making side, is what I really want to get into. But
let's introduce this and then jump to that.
Okay, and then March.
March is Maaliskuu. Is the land, and then if you have, for example, you plant something, then it is Tutta. So you have Maal is like into the land. That's the month like when the plants open up.
Okay.
Or like you have Maal is, so you don't have the Maal eyes. So the ice leaves and the earth comes forth.
Nice, nice.
And then we have Huhtikuu. It has an old name, which is Huhta. And this means then the slash and burn.
Got it.
Process when you burn the tree so that you can have the ashes and grow again. So that's April. Then May is Toukokuu. Touko has to do with the flower which is coming up, like flowers in general, like the birth of the flowering time in a way. Things start to flower. And then Kesä is summer. So we have summer months. Then Heinäkuu. Kesä.
Yeah. Get a little more specific on that. Just summer? I mean,
yes,
summer's kind of a weird word too.
Yeah. Kesä means summer. Like summer starts at the summer month. Kesä alkaa kesäkuussa.
Okay.
It's very simple in a way.
Okay. All right.
And you see it now. We have summer month going on, and we have,
yeah, I know, but I don't know. Like even the word summer, like I don't. Why is it called summer? You know.
Yeah. But also, if we turn it into saga, we can have so mer, which is like seed more, because you have the in Kesäkuu you have the midsummer where you lay the seed in the lady.
Right.
So you have summer. You
okay.
Suffer more. And then we have Heinäkuu. Heinä is the grass. So when the grass has grown long enough in Heinäkuu, you start the grass working, which you make the food for the animals and these kind of things.
Yes.
You take the grass harvest. Away. The harvest. It's not complete harvest. It's the harvest of the grass. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Because then comes August. August is Elokuu. Elo has to do with living, like alive. Elo. So it's when the nature and everything is like ready, kind of, that you can start to pick this kind of like fruits or these kind of things which are ready by that time.
Okay.
And then Syyskuu is then comes from syksy. Syksy is autumn or fall. So it's like autumn month. It starts like.
Yeah, I got stuck on that one also.
Yeah, that has maybe some other word also, some other name also.
Yeah, same thing with the summer and this autumn. I get stuck on those. Like there's got to be something else there.
Could
more
be.
Specific. Okay.
Yeah, and that was then September. September is the harvesting month where you harvest everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when the mushrooms start to come and properly and so on.
Okay.
Then you have Lokakuu. Loka is this mud dirt which comes on the ground. So we have the weather of the really dirty grounds, of muddy grounds. That's when it starts to rain water and the land starts to be slushy and so on.
Matik? Who?
Loka.
Oh. Kokaku?
Lokakuu. A loka is this weather type of mud on the grounds.
Okay.
Like on a car, you have lokasuojat, which is the ones which you have underneath the wheels, which protect so that you don't throw dirt out from the car on the car. And then lokasyys. Marras is then again, Marras is another word for the Grim Reaper. So Marras is the month when the death comes. That's when all the plants die, everything loses its greenness and everything gets ready kind of for winter in that month. And it's also an interesting name because we have Marras. So we have the dark side of moon and the front side of the moon, both in the same name.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we come to the last month, which is Joulukuu, which comes from Yule, which is the wheel also, but also the Christmas. So the Christmas month is the 12 month.
Yeah, so what I noticed as you were going through, that everything seems to be 1 month off, almost.
Okay.
Then the calendar we use, this Gregorian calendar, it's almost like it seems more aligned with the actual like zodiac signs, almost. But it's more explicitly saying this has to do with the moon. So what we call our month is shifted and changed, but it's at the end of the year it kind of still works out to be the same, same difference as far as yearly cycles. But these more specific, like you go through and this is when you put things into the land. This is and this is when you slash and burn and you create this ash layer, and it's all about kind of this agriculture, almost, and which is super important, right? Especially once you get to the Grim Reaper month, like these meanings are maintained in different languages and the astrology language, all the meanings of the months that in Finland, like to this day, and where we're like, wow, what's all this? Why is it called January? Like, they changed all these names, and it's like, consider when we have these, you're taking time and understanding of nature away when you're changing the names of things, into the months we have now. And with like, it just makes people, I don't want to say ignorant, because ignorant yet is like ignoring something blatant, but it's like
a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Holy
yeah. And there's like I was looking up a long time ago. Let me see if ChatGPT will give me a good answer for this. But I remember looking up like what they called the, like in Old Norse languages, what they called the months.
Yeah.
And I remember one of them being fat sucking month. And it was like the last one.
Yeah, that's what you do during Christmas time.
Let's see if it gives me a. Okay. All right. We got. No, it's not translating them.
One which could directly compare which sign fits which with name. Like you probably thought in your head.
Okay, it's Mursugur. Fat sucking month is the 12th month, indicating the time when food resources were scarce and preservation was crucial. And then that comes after. I don't even know. Ulir, possibly related to the Yule festival. So Yulir.
Yeah.
And then we have Gormandur, which is the slaughter month, when livestock were slaughtered and preserved for wintertime. I'm going backwards, but and then before that would be the autumn month. Hasmandur. Marking the beginning of autumn. Yeah, and then
same as Syskuu, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, and then you got Solmandur, sun month, and The haymaking. Oh yeah. Before. Sorry. Yeah. This is this other one called the second month.
The second
indicating
month.
the position of the second half of summer. V Mandur. Manudur. Anyway. Then we got Harpa. Named Harpa month, named after a festival or a mythical figure marking the beginning of summer. So so this people making thing, especially when now we're talking with seasons, right? So in Saga it would be something like after the first Ragnarok, and we have this tilt, and we're dealing with this tilt, and a complete change of nature is very different, and we need this understanding, and we need to make logic of this new understanding.
But the logic has been from before.
Yeah.
But they need to completely everything redo.
Yeah, so we have to change how we interface with this, with the change. We have to change because the sun changed or the earth changed, right?
Everything changed.
So everything has to change, right? You need animals with fur, more fur than just a little bit of fur. And so it's important, like that's why Johannes Day is in the middle of summer, because what's 9 months after the 6th, right? That would be the 3rd month of the next year. So 9 months, you get the women get impregnated in middle of summer, and all the babies would be born in the 3rd month, which would be in Western astrology, the new year, Aries. Arise. This is when all the people arise, and at that point is when you're planting seeds into the ground as well. So you need to incorporate people making and sustenance, essentially, into a complete understanding. So anyone with words and names can have an understanding of how to live. So if a group of people move somewhere completely different, they know what to do because they can see the stars, and the stories are stored in the stars. And and the bodies and the moving stars, right? And in the moving stars are, the other planets. But there's only one in Bock Saga. There's only one planet, and it's here. It's the Earth. It's the world. It's the planets have plants. But using okay, so with that in mind, I'm trying to think about how to kind of get into this. So so we have these different. So let's just start it. Maybe should we just start it Johannes Day? And the next day is.
I find it also reasonable to, well, either we go circle or then we go rear.
Yeah.
Or like snake goes in the middle.
Then well, we start. This would be Cancer. Cancer begins on June 21st.
Yeah.
I'm a Cancer. I'm a June. I'm somewhere in there. Anyway, I'm a late June baby.
Okay.
But we have.
I come just before you.
Yeah, and another thing about Cancer is it's a very it's like a motherly. It's it rules the chest and tits. Big Cancer women will generally have large breasts And I don't know, that's what I heard. But a protective shell, which is interesting. It's also represented by the scarab in Egypt. So the scarab is the crab, carab. And is the height of summer. And we have a few name days here. The 25th of June. The day after is Unu.
Uno or Uno.
Uno.
And the root side is, or Swedish side, Finnish-Swedish side, it's Uno, and in the Finnish side it's Uno. But basically meaning also one in Italian. Latin.
Huh. One. That is like day one of the sun falling.
Yeah. That's the day one of baby being in stomach.
And then a few days after that, the 28th of June, 28 of 6, we have Leo.
Yeah.
Leo. And that's not technically Leo, but that is an interesting, why did you choose that one? Just because it's Leo is
what is also interesting here, because Leo is also related to Ukko. And the next day, the 29th of 6th, is the name day of Pär.
Yeah.
So there is Leo and Pär coming after each other.
Yeah. And even the word sun, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always kind of, well, I know that a son is a boy, or is the male of, offspring of the father.
Yeah.
So we're both sons.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun.
Yeah.
And then, so one, we have Uno, which is one, and then Leo, and then pair, which is two, or head.
Yeah, also, yeah, Pär.
Which we have two of also, by the way.
But I find interesting that these are then the 5 days. You have Juhannus, Uno, and then Jump, and then Leo, and then Pär. Because they all somehow connected.
Yeah. Two of 7. Actually, I should probably pull up what days of the year these actually start.
The Cancer here says 21st to 22nd.
To the 22nd. So then it would be the 23rd of July.
Yeah.
That would be the next one. So, okay. Yeah. So we're not there yet. So, and then we also have Mai on the 2nd of July. 7. Yeah. 2 of 7. We have Mai.
Mai, Ukko's daughter.
Ulf. What's Ulf? That's the 5th of July.
This is again an interesting point, just which I noticed, because Ulf is a basic word for wolf. Like you have Ulf, but you can also have Ulf.
Yeah.
Wolf. Then on the Finnish side, the day is Untamo. And Untamo is a Kalevala character defined as the one which these Kalevala people have brother fight with. And these Untamo people are kind of characterized as the conquistadors of Finland in a way, or in this story.
Got it.
So then it's interesting that the Untamo is on one side, Untamo on the other side, wolf. Because we have this Odense with everything changing to Wolf Island and so on when these people from outside come here. Yeah, I was just interested that they come on the same day, connected in the calendar.
Yeah. And then we have on the 8th of July, Tour Day.
Yes.
The Heart Day.
Yeah. Here is interesting that we have many Tor. We have Tor, Tora, Tord, Tore, and on the Finnish side, Turo. Different characters of this.
Do they say why they choose the names for the name days? Like, in a modern context, or are they always the same each year? The same names for the same days? Have they been the same? Do they change?
They update it all the time. There comes somewhere more names or somewhere we take away some, but
yeah, because if they're changing it, it's kind of.
They say that it's based on a Middle Age calendar of saints. And that these names would be based on the Catholic and Orthodox Church. And they became part of Finnish everyday life already in the 14th century. And then the Reformation took away a little bit part of the Lutheran, of the Catholic system when the Lutheran come. And the name they still keep living after that. And then the university get the special right to publish the Almanakka as Finnish language in 1705. And then in the 19th century, they started to fill with non-Christian names. And then during the 1800s and the 1900s beginning, everything becomes Finlandized, and then it becomes quite like stabilized somehow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they a little bit add more words. But Saga claims that they used them before already.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you it doesn't mean you get the name, like the in the saga, it's, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're born, your given name doesn't mean you were born on that day, but you were baptized on that day when that name date arrives.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the significance of getting the name is. Not like what the significance is, like how names were chosen. It was just based on feeling, maybe something like that. Yeah. But I do want to get back to this underlying story, because I haven't really worked it out fully in my head, and I haven't really been able to, like, I haven't really spoken too much. I haven't really spoken about it either. So, but that kind of helps me kind of work through it. Is just talking about it.
Sure.
But we have this. Already, you can see, like, in the height of summer is an important day, an important time of year, even to conceive, right? Yeah. And we get our words like a bed of roses, right? A bed is a place, where the act takes place, Yeah. And they're in a flower bed, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to be a bed of roses, but a flower bed is all the flowers would be fully grown, at this time of year. So it's very comfortable outside.
Yeah.
Things are heating up in the bed in the flower bed.
Also, you have to remember that when it's midsummer, you have to 1 month of honeymoon. So I have been growing and playing with these flowers around the flowers all the time, also kind of.
Right, which would be 1 month before that.
Yeah.
In about I guess like in May 24th. Is that right?
Yeah, May 24th is said to be, according to Saga, the Helodensdag, the whole sun's day.
Yeah, I find it interesting because you know, the 24th, it seems like kind of an arbitrary, like kind of random. But if we think about how our months are all kind of discombobulated, you know, where we have like 30 days, 31 days, 30 days, 31 days. So this may have been like actually like a first day of a month. It would be interesting to see because that it's maybe more based on the moon than, you know, the moon cycle.
But also if we follow Gemini cycle and we take in the consideration what we also have in the Christmas time when you have winter solstice and 3 days, then the 24th day is the Christmas Eve, the festival day, when the sun again moves. And then the 25th is the day when the sun borns.
I just looked on this, at least for this year, the 2024, the 24th of May is a full moon. Oh no, the day before, the 23rd is a full moon.
Okay.
So, I don't think it's the same each year, would it? It would probably shift a little bit.
If you would follow the calendar, if you only follow moon calendar, then it would be the same. You can look up, for example, a Chinese calendar which only follow moon, and then you will find that which day is the 24th according to the moons.
Oh, it shifts by. Wait, is that a new moon? I think I might be getting it mixed up. Because, you know, like especially you know, like every full moon,
yeah,
like people are more horny, especially women.
Yeah, can be.
I always heard that. And you also have like their the menstrual cycle is with the moon also, which is why it's called the menstrual cycle, you know, the menstrual cycle. But that.
Yeah, because this is the point of this children making word yearly calendar or almanakka is to follow the moons and menstruation. So and
yeah, because in Bock Saga the moon is symbolizing the Ra, which is like kind of like the bureaucratical king. You know, he's not responsible, something like that, like the information to, you know, kind of like the how things are organized more than like the All-Father symbolized by the sun is making all of the people. It's not really like doing much else, I guess, something like that, you know.
But when he comes All-Father, he has responsibilities. But when he's Lemminkäinen, his only priority is that he make baby, kind of.
Yeah. So the All-Father would be the Gubin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because then when
Lemminkäinen graduates, when Lemminkäinen graduates to be the grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when he becomes grandfather, he gets the responsibility of going after his son, which becomes then the new Ra.
Right.
So then he gets responsibility to look after his family, in a way.
Yeah. So so maybe these name days were easier. It's saying the lunar cycle is 29.5 days.
Yeah.
But which is pretty much closer to 30 than 28. So I don't know. To say it's the 24th of 5 and the 24th of 6. See, that makes more sense because it just begins the new sign, and that's more based on the sun determining what part of the zodiac we're in, the time of year, because it's when the sun goes into the zodiac. So there must be another overlay of when the moon is traveling through the zodiac, which isn't exactly the same as a solar year. So
yeah, because astrological, these signs, these are solar connected. When the moon is also solar connected, but it's having its own cycle.
Yeah, it has. And also what's interesting about the moon is that because it's not, it has this rotation with us, but it's also this rotation and then also around the sun, but it's not spinning on its axis. Yeah, so going back to so we're in Cancer, and on the alphabet wheel, Cancer is also where the K is. And so it's actually at the bottom of the wheel.
Yeah.
And then as we move into
because Cancer is after Gemini. It becomes Finnish is the Rapu, which is the Rapu, which is Ra3.
And Cancer is ruled by the moon.
Yeah, in Finnish it's Rapu. Rapu is the crab, and Rapu is the Ra3, the moon tree.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury.
Yeah.
Hey, Mercury. And Mercury is kind of like that. I have a conspiracy theory I made up in my head the other day about Mercury, which is Mercury is radium. But never mind. I don't want to talk about that. Never mind. But yeah, that is not, Mercury isn't the quicksilver that we think it is.
It's not?
That's what we call it now.
Yeah. But I'm just curious about the whole thing.
About my conspiracy?
Yeah, because I'm Mercury. I'm people who run with Mercury.
Yeah, because they call it quicksilver. I just don't. Because Mercury is supposed to be like the catalyst of change, or like it changes. Supposed to be like it changes an element into something else. It's supposed to be it's the message bringer also, right? Isn't Mercury the guy with the wings on his shoes?
Totally. Also, Gemini is defined as a messenger.
Yeah, but that's but it's like I was saying, the stars themselves aren't bringing all the energy. It's more of the backdrop.
Yeah.
Right, and so.
But it's maybe more of the subconsciousness.
Yeah, and because it's ruled by Mercury, it's these. We got the 12 zodiac signs, and then we have the 7 astral bodies, the 7 planets.
Yeah.
Right? We have the 12 sons and the 7 daughters. Right? There is this acknowledgement of the energy, which is a feminine word, of ruling the 12 signs. Right? And so each sign is sometimes ruled in the beginning of it, and then sometimes it's ruled in the end of it. And I believe that it's ruled because these bodies are most prominent in these this time of year of when these signs are, like Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Right? The goat's ruled by Saturn, the Satyr, which is another name for a goat. And Leo's ruled by the sun, right? It's the height of summer. It's the sun. Virgo's also ruled by Mercury, and Virgo is where the baby, you're no longer a virgin, but it's also the time of year when you come out and harvest, right? But it's but it has multiple things. So it's also ruled by Mercury, and yeah, it's the solar plex, the Livmoder, which is the uterus, right? And so this is Virgo. And then we move into Leo, which is ruled by the sun, the heart of a lion, the pride comes before the fall, right? This is the end of summertime.
Yeah.
Going backwards, Leo and then Virgo. Yeah. So then after that, we're moving into Libra. Now, I think at around Leo, or maybe even after Cancer, is this whole offering system of the Bock Saga. I think can be overlaid into all of the different signs, because this is something that's perpetually happening, right?
Yeah. But it's a big question what happens in this time period, because this Leo, when it starts on the July 23rd, then the 24th is always the crisis day when everything collapses and new starts. It's kind of an ending day, the Ragnarök day. So when we have the paradise time ended with the 24th of 7, and the ice time ended, and then all the Udema ended. So this Leo, I understand that this Ragnaröks, for example, the Great Flood, that happens from 3 months. So that would mean in this sense that it starts with Leo, then it's Virgo, and then it's Libra. And this is the crisis time of the year when you kind of start to abolish everything that you built.
Well, and also Virgo and Libra are very feminine. Leo is quite a bit more masculine, but Virgo and Libra, maybe this has to do with more female side of things, female offering, something like that. Maybe looking at some of the prominent name days within these, because we got Christina Day, which is 7 of 24. Sara Day, which is Sa the Ra, or Ra the Sa, and which is the 19th of July. I believe that's still in Cancer, honestly, but
yeah, it
regardless.
Is. Sara is the name of the swan during was it Atlantis time?
Yeah, and the queen. It basically means like. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Maya is the queen, but like when normally have Lemminkäinen and Joutsen, So during is it Atlantis time, they're named Raphael and Sarah.
Okay.
So like Sarah's name day is just before Ragnarök, kind of.
Yeah, and then we have a Christina Day, and then there's a Jacob.
Yeah. The Sweden king who came the 24th of 7th, 10,050. He bring the bishop and the Helvetian mercenaries to Udema.
Yeah.
His name was Anud Jacob.
Oh,
and
okay.
the day after the 24th, they arrived, and the 25th, the bishop poisoned him and he died.
Okay, and backwards is Bock. Bock guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're moving along into Libra, and now for me, if you imagine the overlay of the human body, we're going down here, right? We're working our way down into now we're getting back into the waist, right? And where big decisions are being made, and we're really like organizing. We're weighing the crops and making bread or pressing the. This is also in different parts of the world. Like olives are. I think we've talked about it before, where the oak tree is kind of similar, or the Yggdrasil tree, the ash tree, is kind of similar to the olive tree in other places. So more like around maybe the Mediterranean, not too far away.
But it's an olive tree also, the ash tree, the Yggdrasil.
Yeah. Oh, that is also an olive tree.
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't know that. So there you go.
That's why the tree of life, the olive tree.
Yes, all live. We all live. And the ash tree. I love it. That's really cool. So and then that's let's see. I need to look at something here. Did I lose it? I lost it. Closing tabs and losing them. Should have just made a new tab. Almost there. Okay. So now we're in, let's see, if we get into August,
then we start with Leo, and then in Virgo.
Okay, so yeah, Leo begins July 23rd. So the second day of Leo is Christina Day, and then we have Jacob, and then Leo ends on the 22nd. So in between that, we have
Yeah, it's just an it's a nest, but it's just a simple name, Boo, 18th of 8.
And this is the nest on a woman. Is this is the nest.
It's the lemur that is the boo of the barn.
Yeah, if you're holding a baby, but this is really where the nest is brewing, right? And then I don't know, that one's you also sent Sam and Sven, which is, I don't know why you put
Sam.
Sam.
Is an interesting word because Sam is in Swedish or root it's Sam, in English it's same, in Finnish it's sama, in Sanskrit it's sama. Same, like we are Sampo, we are from same family. So this
got
is
it.
Same.
Yeah, Sampo, same. Yeah, and we're all the same.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So Leo kind of ends with saying that we are all the same.
Got it. Nice. Yeah, and then you have Sven, which is Sweden.
The original king of Sweden.
Yeah. Okay, and then, oh my gosh. And then after Leo, we go into August 23rd, which is Virgo, and one of the names.
Here is basically the name which it starts, which is the 26th of 8 is Ilmatar, which is another name for Queen Maya.
Yeah.
And that's quite interesting because just you said Virgo and feminine, then it started with a very feminine.
Yeah.
Goodness of love.
So not unrelated at all. And yeah, I already kind of, so we're talking about Virgo, which is virgin, which is also
and Maya is always virgin.
And not everybody, yes, exactly. They are virgin, and all women start as virgins, and not all women all women become mothers or want to.
Yeah.
Not all women want to. And Virgo, Virgin. Our gene? Our genes? Our gene? Virgo. 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 What about goo?
Goo.
So what if it's Virgo? Like virulent? Virulent goo?
Virgo.
Viral goo?
Viral goo. I don't know where they're going. We're going. But some kind of process starts at this point. Some kind of preparation. Because if now at the same time we are moving into the autumn month, so some kind of system can start to end the year.
Yeah. So now we're getting to Libra, right? Now let's just think of everything as a lens of children making, okay? For this, because I think we kind of get the story of the sun and everything like that. But what is the story of the sun? S-O-N. Right?
Yeah.
And not the S-U-N. Because I think it's the same story, right? You have the rise and fall, you have your challenges, you have your winter time, you have your hell. You know, you're in Infierno, in wintertime, Vierno, right? You have all these challenges. It's our life story also. You know, it's the challenges we go through from day to day, year to year, decade to decade, things like that. It's part of the human experience. Yeah. And part of this human experience is we all happen to be born. And we all die. And the sun is also this story of life and death and cycles and everything like that is in this story, right? And the most important part is making more people and our life story, the great race of being born, the act of having sex, and where it's not this just thing we do for our own selfish pleasure, just to get off, you know, like. And so when we get into Libra, we're getting into. I'll have to change. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
When we get into Libra, now we're it's for in this lens, with this lens of thinking about the act of making children, right? This is your where I think it's the decision. You have to make a decision, right? Especially the woman. This is a very feminine sign. Where is she going to? She's going to weigh her options. She's going to make a choice at some point. And maybe it's not lined up with the name day. This happens, the specific name day happens maybe in December or not, or like, you have Lucia Day and things like that. But the story of the process of choosing a partner or something
I
like
would
that.
even go a bit before choosing a partner, because choosing a partner happens in December. But now when you change this, it's also a little bit like this is the time when you start to dance. Like in Virgo, you start to pray for your dances, and then Libra comes and you're ready and you're gonna see that are you gonna make it or not.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have too much listed for Libra, or
No,
I guess you
not
do.
really. Or when
Oh, we have Val Frigg, and Val Frigg
yeah,
Val is to elect.
yeah.
That's on the 12th.
Freed is choice, like freedom, choice. Like you have freedom of choice is kind of Valfried.
Okay. Yeah. And we also have Saga Day.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have
a 17th of 10.
You have a Viking Day also.
Viking Day also. And there was also in the month before, the 26th of 9 is the Finn Day. The Finn have also his own day.
So, yeah, there's this decision to be made, and this dance, right? Yeah. Maybe this decision is more in Virgo, but we need to play the game. We need to court our partner, right? And this is Libra is in the court system, the courting, right? It's a game. We play basketball on a court, or something like that. We have it's this dance, it's this game, it's this play, right? We're playing around. It's your first crush, it's your first kiss, that kind of thing, we're shy, something like that. Maybe it's but also Libra is also very symmetrical. It's the balance, things that are like proportioned or symmetrical or in balance are more beautiful also, right?
Depends.
When
we are looking for symmetrical and looking for beautiful face, then we are looking for a certain kind of symmetry.
And no one's perfectly symmetrical, I suppose, but maybe Libra people are more symmetrical. We'll have to line them up. We can look at some famous ones maybe and see how symmetrical they are. But I feel like maybe vanilla would be a good word for Libra. Like, they're not the most beautiful. They're not the most like, oh man, banger attraction, but it's this more innocent attraction. Like that's like children can be very like cute or like pure or something like that. Maybe it's this kind of thing. And then we move into Scorpio. Yeah. And
what is interesting here also, okay, go. I will tell this a bit later, but
for Libra, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just because you were talking about that we're at the middle point. We have now coming to the half. Are we not at that now?
Yeah, that's Libra. That's
Libra,
the fall
we're gonna
solstice.
change to Scorpio.
Right.
We're at that point now.
Yes.
And that is the point day when Eeyore was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad thing, but it's kind of interesting.
He was backstabbed.
Front stabbed already. This is the second time.
Yeah. But betrayed.
Betrayed.
That is Scorpio. The Scorpio represents the betrayal also. because this is the betrayal of the sun. But also it's, again, keeping it in the lens of making, this is the dick. This is the pussy. This is the act itself. This is game time. Like, we're not playing anymore. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's the lowest chakra, right? It's the genitals. It's the thing itself. Of course, maybe thinking of it as like a betrayal or something like that is, like in Buddhism, there's a dualistic nature to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be angry for no reason, or you can be angry about something you're upset about, like that causes you to, take action against injustice. You could be angry about something that's wrong, that is bad or something like that. So I think contained within all these things, when we talk about Scorpio, you also get a lot of negative words, sounding words, but also if you were to overlay this astrology wheel over the alphabet wheel, the sound system wheel, Scorpio would be right where the C and D, so it would be Shara.
Okay.
So that's an SK word, just like Scorpio is an SK word. Well, sound-wise is a SK, but it would be Sharpio.
Shara Scorpio.
And think about that word, score, P, U, Scorpio. Score. You can score a goal. You scored the lady, you scored the girl, you got her. Score, right on, and then P is the P of the ring, right? And U is Udin. So score, P, U, Scorpio, Scorpionin.
Scorpion. Because also there is some relation from Scorpio to the sun. Like the Pihun is also there, but what is the Skur doing there?
Well,
scoring.
So technically, when the sun enters Scorpio, the connect the dots we play in the sky has like the scorpion tail. You think of the scorpion with its poisonous tail. It goes into the sun, representing the sun is being poisoned.
Okay.
And that as it falls.
Okay.
So this is, you also get Halloween is a Scorpio season holiday, right?
Yeah.
The Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, which is more of a celebration in many places. Like in Mexico Halloween is the Day of the Dead, where they remember their past ones, and in Bock Saga, this would be done with the stars. So if you were to pass away, your family would name a star after you, and you can travel halfway across the world and still be like, this is, this is your grandfather's star, and this is his story. This is his starry.
Yeah.
This is where we store the E. Store E.
Maybe there is then the point of when we talk about choosing names, so that you can choose your name so that they are in your father's constellation or something like that.
Yeah, because we always take our father's name.
Yeah.
I mean, not always, but I mean, that's like something that happens. Yeah. Junior.
Yeah, you have senior, junior in your place more than here.
Yeah. Well, I mean that senior. it's more in other cultures than just American culture. Is even in Mexico, you got.
So they
Miguel,
name
and
even
Miguel
Mexico Senior some names of people.
Yeah, well, like it would be more like, oh, my name's Dustin, and then my dad. If my dad's name was also Dustin, they would just say, "Which Dustin are you talking about?" "Oh, Dustin Senior."
Okay.
I'd be Dustin Junior until he dies, and then if I name my son Dustin, then I would be Dustin Senior, and he would be Dustin Junior.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not really like built into the name, the senior or junior, but during our lives it would be referred to like that. Just as Lemminkainen, just as Guben, just as the Balbach and Balder. It's a title, it's their name until they graduate to the next title, the Allfather, the grandfather.
But in Finnish, we would maybe use more that we call you Boy of Dustin. We didn't talk about Dustin or Boy of Dustin in a way.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
So we have this idea of Scorpio. This is, you're scoring, you're putting in to the P.
Yeah.
The U.
The U.
Yeah. Which is also happening in the sky.
Yeah.
Something's being put into the sun.
What do you mean? It's being put in and it goes out, down?
No, it's like symbolic, the sun.
Yeah.
And then Scorpio's going behind, it's going in front of it. And so the sun is being.
The sun moves into this poison thing.
Yeah, but in how the sky from the earthly perspective, it's being put in.
And then when it's put in, what happens then?
So it's basically.
Does it go by or does it fall down?
Yeah. It's going down.
Okay.
So this is part of its fall after it's already been judged in Libra. Okay. And so now it's falling, but it's not dead. It's dying. It's in the process of fall.
Yeah.
That's why we call it fall.
So this is now when it starts to fall, we turn in marrasku.
Yeah, or autumn. Yeah. It's going into its tomb.
Yeah.
So it's it's getting, it's again, it's a metaphor, right? It's not like the sun. Yeah. Anyway, but
it happens in nature. Everything dies in nature and so on. Like it makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So it's all falling.
Yeah.
Right. It's autumn.
Yeah.
Autumn.
And that means that if you have scored in the dance games, if you passed Scorpio, then you will get to have festival.
Yeah. So which brings us to Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Which is the horse archer. What's a do they just call it Sagittarius, or what do you call it?
Yeah,
what do they call it in Sweden?
In Finnish it's jousimies at least, which is the jousi is the arrow, the bow with the arrow. No, the bow itself is jousi and mies is man.
So they're more referring to the archer aspect.
Yeah.
This is a complicated sign because it's a
same in Swedish. Skytten, the one who shoots.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which is interesting because we have the horse and the archer, and so in Scandinavia it seems like the distinction of the horse is not in there, which is so generally the horse is the vessel of travel. So you can think of the horse as more of like a vessel that's delivering or taking something somewhere, right? And so in the symbology of Sagittarius, it's delivering, it's taking the sun into the underworld.
Yeah.
This is the vessel down the river Hades, you know, so maybe it's a boat or a horse or whatever. But the archer symbol, right? We get Cupid is the archer, right? And Cupid has a heart at the end of his arrow. So you have the stem and the heart, right? And in Bock Saga, this is obviously the man's dick, right? And so, but as far as the sun goes, the archer is putting the sun out of its misery from being in Scorpio. And so it's final. It's like, if you were to kill an animal, do you want it to suffer? Or do you just want to just, you know, let's just end it. And so this is the arrow into the heart. So Jesus died on the cross. He didn't die on the cross from being on the cross, but he was actually stabbed in the heart from the side. So this is the arrow in the side. This is where the sun hits the very bottom of the sky and is in the underworld as deep as it can go, or as it goes. But also in Bock Saga, it's, you know, it's putting, you know, it's a fertility symbol. The archer is a fertility symbol.
Yeah.
You know, and delivering life. You know, it's doing the exact opposite, right? And
basically no. Basically yes, and basically no, because its last shoot will kill the sun so that it can rise. So it's just making a process of the same which you make babies on the festival day. You come. I shoot. I made it. Yes.
Yes. And I think it's I think it's more. There's no a bow and arrow. They're connected still, and so when you do it, you're drawing it back.
Yeah.
Right. You're drawing, but you haven't released it. This is what I see in Sagittarius.
Yeah, true.
It's pulled back, but that's it. It hasn't released it. Yeah.
So you're loaded.
Right. So already now we have Virgin. Then we have the dance, the game.
The chose.
And then we have kind of where I'm pulling it out. Yeah. In Scorpio, and you know, I'm pulling it out.
Yeah.
And
it's the final dance.
I'm pilbulgaying the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Right. And peel can also be like peel back. Pull.
Peel. Yeah.
To pull.
Cool.
Right.
Peel.
Okay. So maybe and now if we're talking about a dick here, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to, you know, get it going. Yeah. I'm pulling it back, you know, I'm getting ready. Right? And now we go into Bock. Stenbock.
Yeah, but let's go through names first, because this is also interesting.
Oh yeah, some name days. Okay.
Because this whole period, his whole period starts at the 24th of 11th. I read from somewhere I think it's from Leo Nygren's book, that this is called the Domedagen, the Judgment Day. And that means the day when the dome is chosen, when you relieve your dome so that it's chosen, that you get your final, final stamp that now you're ready.
Yeah.
And this is then from name day perspective, it's interesting because it's the name day of Lempi or Lemmikki, which are all kind of related to Lemminkäinen. And Lemminkäinen is the man who becomes the father who gets the shoot.
Yes.
So Lemminkäinen, same day you start to prepare your bow and arrow.
Right, and then Lempi is great, because lem would be like the limb. In English, it would be your limb, right? And we think of our limbs as our arms and legs, but we also have one more limb a fifth one. Yeah,
Yeah.
a very special one, a very special limb. And then
Lempi means
just saying,
lempi means literally favorite, but it can also mean like to make love in a kind of sense, like in a soft sense to make love. Lempi, yeah.
Love it. Yeah, and then listen here, lempi and lemmikki.
Lemmikki, yeah.
Yeah,
that's like a pet, like you call your animal, like your dog, to lemmikki.
Oh, I love it, because ki, I don't know what to say about me, but maybe it's just me, and then lem, me, ki. So the ki to me is the lem. And again, we're talking about the story of the sun with the U. I mean, sorry, with an O. So we're talking about the sun, us. We're talking about, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about you, right? And we're talking about the sun, right? And yeah. So like thinking about all of that, this is the process. This is everything involved, right? There's everything special as far as making you and me and all the suns. Yeah.
Very much.
And yeah, I was earlier. I kind of missed a few also here, but
the next one here.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're putting the root, the von, and the root on both sides. So I was skipping some. Got it. Okay, so that's kind of it's a little late to whatever to go back, but yeah, and then we got, so we're talking about, where are we at? We're at Sagittarius.
Yeah, Sagittarius. So, we have also another. We have Lemminka, and then we have his brother also appearing on the 30th of 11th, which is in the form of And-Ers, where we have And means the spirit, and Ers is the name of King Ra.
Yes.
Seppo Ilmarinen. So now we have the name of something related to the spirit of the king.
Got it. Yes. And then I mean, the next one is the one. Yeah.
Is the one.
You know, you got your feelings. We got our feelings going in Libra. We got our feelings going in Virgo. We got our playing around in Libra. We got okay, now my thought process is just down here, right? The 7th chakra, the lowest chakra. Now I'm like, you know, I'm like, this needs to happen, and so I peel it out. I'm in Sagittarius. I'm pulling it back, yeah, and then now I'm rock hard, yeah. And in Sweden they call Capricorn Stenbocken, which means stone, the mountain goat, but more stone, like a stone. So you're like a rock hard, and yeah, which is obviously the you know, if we look at images of Pan, which is like the half human, half goat, god thing, entity. I don't know what we call him, but you know, his old things. He's got a rock hard dick, and he's standing there like with his goat legs and everything. This is the Stenbocken, yeah. All right, and we're about to climb that mountain, and we're climbing the mountain. Right now, we're getting all over the woman's mounds, maybe. And
now we are
like
recharging to get ready.
Right, and at the same time, we're also talking about offering up to the king.
Yeah, somewhere in between, yeah.
Something like that. But this is just the process of how our body is working, right? And it can also be applied to the women, I suppose, right? It's the same. It's not the same, but it's not. There are differences, but it's similar.
Yeah, this getting ready for festival and getting ready for the babies, there is probably many quite similar things that are just dealt with in another way.
Yeah, I think we're dealing with a couple different cycles at the same. Some things are happening, and then other things are also happening, and then you also have the archetypal things that are happening, right? So, and then I mean that's the Bock, then Bakken. I mean it's Capricorn.
Yeah.
Corn is like, you think of corn is like more of like the shape of the corn. Yeah. Think of corn as more like the shape. And then the cap is the cap, the top, the cap. Yeah. And re is to do it over and over. Cap, re, corn. Cap, re, corn. Yeah. And then Sten, Bock. Sten, Bock. Sten, Bakken. And this is at the top of the wheel also.
Mm-hmm.
At the cap. So this would be where the trisul would be, or the E, it's the top of the E.
Yeah.
Our whole study was about this aspect, right at Capricorn, right? Which is the first day is on Christmas Day. Christmas Day.
That's the 25th.
The 25th of December.
Yeah.
Yule Day. The wheel is complete.
Yeah.
So
it completes on the 24th, and then it starts again on 25th.
Yeah, New Year's. This is the New Year's Day. And okay, do we have any significant names you want to?
Well, according to the normal system, the 24th of 12th is the name day of Adam and Eve.
Okay. Yep. Well,
but
that
then
is the kind of Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
And just like Adam, autumn, fall, that is the lowest point in the sky that the sun will be.
Yeah.
And from that day, the day after Christmas Day is when it starts going up 1 degree every day until we get back to Cancer.
Yeah.
In this December month, we have also a couple of saga names. On the 6th of 12th, we have the name day of Niklas, which is another day for Ukko. Mm-hmm. And then we have the 13th of 12th, a Lucia day, which is a day for the Yotes and the Swan. And then 26th of 12th, we have the Staffan's day, the day of the Boxing Day.
And these are nice. Yeah, Boxing Day. I never heard of Boxing Day.
Boxing Day is the men who have chosen a lady, and they're gonna have their battles between each other.
I'm sorry. I was saying I never heard of Boxing Day until hearing about Bock Saga, and only to realize that this is a widely known holiday throughout Europe. This isn't like so they have. So it was interesting hearing it for the first time. I'm like, oh yeah, is that like some kind of, like I have no clue, but I just asked ChatGPT, what is Boxing Day? Yeah, and it said the origins of Boxing Day are unclear, but is traditionally believed to have started in Britain.
Okay.
One theory is that servants or tradespeople received gifts or Christmas boxes from their employers. No. But I like how Thor put it one time. It was like Santa's gifts in the sack,
Right? Yeah, Lemminkainen is coming with his balls full.
Yes, and so in his purse, he's carrying his purse around, and with all the presents in it. So this is, again, the story of the sons of all of us, you know, coming from the Lem P or Lem P. And
then we have one
biggest, oh yeah, go ahead.
One new interesting name. Then when we move to the new year, we have the 4th of first. We have Finnish. In Finnish, say root is the name, or in Swedish it would be a root. But
yes,
it starts with word starts with a
root
name.
Yeah.
And then also in Capricorn, then we have the 13th of 11 is the name of the Knut, like Knut Victor Bockström, or the knot, the day when the
yes,
children.
the knot day. You said 11, but of 1.
13th of 1.
Yeah. Yeah, the new day. That's, you tie the knot, you know.
Tie the knot.
But also, yeah, that's the symbology of the snake eating his own tail, the Ouroboros. And the yoga position.
Yeah.
in Bock Saga. Yeah, so okay. Now we're moving to Aquarius. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got the dance. We got the feeling in our dick, and then we're peeling it back. We're pulling it out. We're peeling it out. We're peeling it back, and now we're Stunbakken. We're Capricorn hard, right? And Aquarius. Now again, it's the flooding. Yeah. So it's the ejaculation. It's it squirting out or something like that. And look, I mean, this is kind of like the whole thing. Like, it's never been described this way, the astrology, right? But it lines up so well. and especially in the words, and also in the name days. And I mean, wait till you hear this one of these names coming up. What is that in root? This must be in root. Yeah. Okay, so Aquarius. All right, and this is also
January 20th starts.
Without this Bock Saga lens, Aquarius is like a Zeus story also. You know, this is also a very you know, the god of thunder story. This is an Ukko story, right? This is the king of the world, the all-father of the world story, or who's making all of the suns, right? And this is a very offering story in my eyes, but it also Aquarius is the rarest sign.
Could make sense, yeah.
There's the fewest people are born in Aquarius than any other sign. Nowadays, I guess. But what's the first day of Aquarius? Is it?
You have to be made on Taurus. Be Aquarius.
I've heard long ago, January 20th. January 20th. So we have so generally, like Aquarius people are really special at what they do. Like, they're really good at what they do. We've entered the age of Aquarius, or we are entering. There's a debate, but this is it's an air sign.
Entering, we have a little piece of it already inside, so we have entered it.
Yes, I've heard Narco Longo say it's the gayest sign also. It's Aquarius. It's the only one with a Q in it also. Aquarius. R-E-us. What's it in Finnish? And what's it in root?
Waterman.
The Waterman.
Yeah.
Life Waterman is what we need to change it to.
Yeah, well, Waterman.
Yeah.
Wisdom water or life water.
What water?
I think both has to start here also. Not yet, because life water you make babies with. So now you start to prepare the life water for the babies.
Well, just as there's a drip, a stream, and a flood. Drip, stream, flood. And Aquarius is the flood, but it's an air sign. So it's not the actual, it's the movement of the water. It's the water bringer.
Yeah.
So it's represents the man. So when they say like the son of man, the son of man or something like that, they're referring to Aquarius. So like ancient texts or the Bible or whatever, Jesus is called the son of man. They're just referring, or the water
That's
bringer.
funny because it says Jesus blah 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 Adam son of man.
Yes.
So they are son of man.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, but when you talk about Aquarius being the bringer, then in the saga system, all the offering system to make the babies is bring up.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Enki. Okay, so Aquarius rules the ankles. Okay, so we went from Sagittarius, which is the hips, the horse, the hippo. Okay,
yeah.
Capricorn is the knees.
Yeah.
The legs on go backwards. The caps. That's why we call them knee caps.
Okay.
It's for Capricorn. Or girls wear those pants that don't go all the way down to their ankles.
Yeah.
They're called capris.
Oh, okay.
Capris. Capricorn. Okay. Aquarius is the ankles.
Okay.
The Enkis. From from ancient Sumerian mythology is Enki. Or you also have the Enki, the Enki, the symbol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is also in Bock Saga, when they're sitting and holding and extracting from themselves.
Yeah.
It's like a masturbation tool or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have same thing. You have the anka, which is the anchor, and then you have the ankh. No, the ankh's the anchor, and the ankare is the duck.
Anchor. Anka is duck, and ankare is the anchor.
Okay, yeah, that, and same in Finnish, I believe too, or similar.
Korean anka, yeah.
And then you have Enki. Okay, let me read this. Enki is also known as Ea in Akkadian mythology, is the god of water, wisdom, and creation. In Sumerian mythology, he is often depicted as a god who brings life-giving waters and controls the fresh water and the Apsu, the underground aquifer. Okay, so you think our ankles are what are anchoring us to the ground. So there's that symbology of, we're our bipedal humans, our ankles are pretty fucking important, right? Yeah. Which hold, keep us upright. And also brings the life-giving water. So you only get life-giving waters when you're fully upright. Yeah.
Okay.
And ancient Greece, you have Poseidon. Oh, no, that would be more Pisces. Poseidon, Pisces.
Yeah. He lives underwater already.
Okay, and then we have Tlaloc, which is Aztec, the god of rain, water, and fertility. And he brings rain, essential for crops and survival, and is considered a giver of life through rains and bringer of destruction through storms. So anyway, this is Aquarius and Enki, Aquarius. Cool. That was cool. I haven't made that connection before, but yeah. So that's the water bringer symbol, and that I was just also backing myself up with that it's the life water, that it's the delivering of it, right? Because again, we're starting at we're going from Libra to Aquarius here, and we're not done. Okay, so now we have the final sign of the zodiac. Oh,
yeah,
do we have? Sorry, we have some names. Yes.
Names.
Okay.
Because
So
it's interesting that this whole period, when we talk about it being fertility system. So when we have these steps in the fertility system, Trell, Kar, Jarl, Rabi, and Lemminkäinen. So this starts with the 24th of 1st with Jarl, and the 28th of 1st with Karl, and then the 30th of 1st with Alpha.
Awesome. Jarl, Karl, and the Allfather.
Yeah.
All in Aquarius.
All in Aquarius. And then
there's a couple more. Yes.
Yes, a couple of more. On the February side, also on the Finnish, the 2nd of 2nd is called Aamu, which means morning. And then the same day as morning has name day, also has Disa.
Disa, yay!
Which is very interesting.
And Disa is the women that make the Vonner, or make the Robbies.
Yeah, make the Rosette family.
The Rosette family.
And Disa is also said to be Jesus' mother was a Disa.
Ah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And this is also the.
And there's a lot of Disas. There was a lot of Disas.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah. Whereas there's only one Jotzin.
Yeah. That's very interesting also. Thing. And do we have something else? Also, the 2nd of 3rd is the name day of Valo, which means light. So first Disa has name day, and then next day it's light. And then the 5th of 2nd is Aser, but it's Aser, so it's not 100% Acer, but it's the same name, except for Finnish version. And then still in that, we have also the 17th of 12th is Väinö, or Väinämö, which then comes Väinämöinen.
Yeah.
The same. And then also we have a Tyra next day. Väinämöinen.
Väinämöinen. The vine.
The vine.
The vine. Yeah. The vine of all the myths.
Yeah, this is because the life water which you are bringing up comes to Väinämöinen, and the bean comes up to the top during Aquarius times when it comes to from
and back down.
Karl and Jarl, it comes, and then it comes to be Amber at Väinämöinen.
Yes, and then all the grapes represent all the people.
Yeah.
Off the vine.
Yeah.
The grapevine.
And then we jump to the next month where you start to.
No. You still have 7 of 2.
7 of 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
do you want to say what it is? So it's not my fault.
7 of 2 is Dick.
Yeah.
Which is guys who go by the name Dick is nickname for Richard?
Dick, Richard. There was some other name on Dick's day, but I don't remember who was Dick's.
So
it's something
Wainamoinen,
Richard, Dick
yeah.
Hard, something. I don't.
You also put Tura.
Tura, yeah. It's one of the tours.
Okay, yeah.
So there is Tura, Tur and Tura, and Tyr and Tyra.
All
they
right.
have some small different change what their responsibilities are, but they are included. They have to do with the offering system, and this being the last day of the Aquarius, maybe that has to do that they arrive from abroad that day or something.
Yeah, yeah. There's big offering symbology in throughout Aquarius.
Yeah. Very much.
Okay, so Wainamoinen or Vaino and Vainamu. Alpha, Jarl, Carl, Disa, Dick, Osser, Light, Morning, Amu, and Valo. That makes me, and light, and even that meaning light. Actually, I don't want to get too detailed because I'm strapped for time here, but like valor. Valor is a nice word in English too. Yeah. And then okay, next. Okay, dance. We got our dancing in Libra. I'm going to keep repeating it because this is the story, right? You can tell stories from beginning to end, right? But I really like it around from once we're Virgo.
Once we get into Virgo.
Yeah, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, hips, and Capricorn, and we're down to the ankles, and now we're down to the feet.
Okay.
And in Spanish, it's Pies. Pies, Pies. And it's Pisces.
Yeah.
This is the fin, right? Fish have fins. The fish, right? Well, the little swimmers, the little seamen. And that's what I'm thinking with this overlay, is that this is representing the semen. The fluid, it's fluid itself. It's flooded. The rains have happened, and the water's built up. Our lakes are refilled. The rivers are moving, and things are kind of getting a little more stable, but fluid. So this is obviously a water sign, Pisces, and it's the final sign, the grand fin alley, right? And we're trying to overlay this with Finnish mythology, Finn, and yeah, right. And which is interesting because the next one's going to be Aries, but which is after Johanna's Day, 9 months later, we're going to enter Aries, and all the children are going to be born.
Yeah.
Right. And that would be the first sign in the zodiac.
Yeah.
And the semen aspect is what comes right before that also, but this is like the finished product, right? And yeah, I mean, I don't have, I mean, I can just go off on the astrology aspects of it, but I feel like this is a story in the stars.
Yeah.
That, of the sun. O-N-S-O-N. Of all sun. Every sun. Right? And throughout our life. We have our we have our setbacks, and we have our jumps forward, and we have our challenges and our gifts and our our everything's has cycles,
Yeah. These are interesting also. Then the name day, this time of the fishes, that it's in the beginning we have the name day of Onni, which means luck. And then we have a name day for aura or aura. So you have luck and aura are coming to play kind of this season. That you have a good luck, or your good luck has come through.
This is February 18th to March 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oni. Which is very close to uni.
Uni. Yeah.
Kinda.
Basically, you just need to change the O to U, and then it's uni.
Yeah.
And shorten the N, but it's still similar.
It just makes universe more interesting.
Yeah.
This is luck, dream, one. Kind of love it, but
and also from Oni comes happy and happiness.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and I was also you got hop P, which is the female, and then hop penis, which is the male. But you also get oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Aura. That's a great word in English too, an aura,
Yeah.
That's a great word. I love that word.
It's the same as in Saga. It's the river that comes nowadays from Åbo, Turku. It's called the Aura River, but Saga defines it as the holy river of the Vanar. So the aura, the aura, is something that's considered very holy.
Yeah. Pisces is a cool sign too, or interesting one. Pisces, personality wise, are known to overthink things. Could be pretty emotionally attached to things. By overthinking things, like they're very deep thinkers. Also very woe is me people, I guess. I don't even like talking about it like that, because I don't really understand the zodiac. I don't really understand astrology in that way very well.
It's kind of deep.
It's also something that's like, you can say that, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of astrology can be applied to any, you tell someone what the sign is about, and they'll be like, yeah, I do feel like that, because we're all kind of in this universe together as one. And, but
also in this astrology concept, you have also your moon signs and your racing signs and your Mars and Venus and Mercurius, and everything influences everything that's in your head. Of course, on different levels, but then if I say you one sign and you are, for example, an Aquarius, but I speak to you of Capricorn and you have a Capricorn moon, then you might think that you are that and that. So.
Right. It's one of those things. It's like, how do I express myself to other people, and then how do I feel on the inside? Completely different. And then how am I in bed, with my wife, or versus we have all these different aspects to everything. It's like, exactly as you said. But that's kind of what the ocean
sometimes they can help self-reflection.
Sure. Yeah, and this is also just I don't really know how much to say it. We got as far as this children making lens, but Pisces is also the Leviathan. And Poseidon. Poseidon's a good one, interesting one, because it has the word Pisces in it. Poseidon.
Yeah.
You know, this Greek god, and god of the sea, earthquake, and horses. He is primarily associated with the sea, but he's also linked to freshwater sources like rivers and springs. He strikes his earth with his trident. To produce a saltwater spring. Interesting.
Because in Atlantis myth, Poseidon is the one with the temple in the center. And if it's a trident.
So we got Neptune.
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of Poseidon.
Yeah.
Neptune. And then Norse mythology would be Njord. The god of the sea, wind, and wealth. Which sounds like north to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Pisces. Seas. You also have the seas in there. Pisces.
Yeah, you have pi, p, and then c.
Yeah, Pisces. PCs.
But it's also a c. It's a p and a c.
Also C.
C. C as the water.
Yeah.
And also to sea.
Yeah.
Pisces, sea, all that moves in the water, in the sea.
Yeah,
Pisces,
weather,
sea.
and then yeah. All right, cool. And then we have Aryans.
Yes,
All the
then
Aryans and all the children being born. But I think we pretty much covered most everything for this. Not like in completion of like the whole wheel, but I at least expressed kind of this other aspect of the offering and making children aspect of everything. And then, you know, after 9 months later, we're all the kids born in Aries to avoid having babies born in the dead of winter time. Yeah. We doesn't matter when kids are born now, because we have, you know, all this modernity that makes everything quite easy for us, you know. Whereas,
you know,
we don't have this electricity heater and stuff like that, so we got to be, you know, getting our wood and food and crops and animals all set, you know, for winter time. And you don't want to be dealing with babies in the dead of winter time, you know, like it's too cold. You know, you want to be able to get the sunlight on them to really imbue them with, you know, the warmth of the sun, the rising of the sun. Yeah, you know,
with
that's kind of the
fresh food.
Yeah, and that's also the difference. Even though like the fall equinox and the spring equinox land like in the same position of the sun, but the sun is moving down versus it's moving up during springtime, whereas it's moving down in the solstice, fall solstice. So it's falling, right? So it has a different movement to get to that position, which is why the world, it's not springtime twice. That's why this fall and spring, right, is an upwards, and fall is a downwards.
True.
And spring is something that comes out and up and sprung and or originates, and then whereas this is going back to its underworld position. Yeah. So, I got to go pretty soon. So.
Okay. Should we run through these names which comes on this couple of months, or?
Yeah, let's do that with Aries, because ultimately I don't have much to say about Gemini. I don't have much to say about Taurus as far as this children making aspects, which I'm sure is there in some.
Well, I think in short that because now after children are making, we're coming to the final process of the children making that ends with the midsummer.
And this is children rearing, at least on the women's side, where you're raising them.
Yeah, of course. That's one process, but that's already, they are created, so it's not so. That's an agriculture process of how you're gonna feed the children.
Yes.
Yeah, because actually that's interesting. First we have the process of how to make the children, and then we get the process of how to feed them.
Which is exactly the same as everybody else, as adults.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, yeah.
But there's still these 3 months of Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I would say that the Gemini, because Gemini ends on midsummer when you make the babies, and it should be the honeymoon month. The Gemini has to do with couples and these kind of things, as it generally has. But Taurus and Aries, then in terms of Taurus and Aries, actually during that time is Easter time. And Easter time is the time when Ukko goes away and Akka becomes the pääsiäinen who takes care of the system. So these 2 months are the time when you prepare for honeymoon. So all the lancier has to be charged with all the trailmen's offerings, and then the rabbis have to be prepared so that they can do their ritual with Lemminkäinen and then with the Disas. And these 2 months are maybe that preparing time somehow. Yeah,
it's got to be all at the same, like we said earlier, is kind of, there's multiple processes of different things going on at the same time. And I think also of, because in Aries, the ram and the cow are kind of like these agricultural animals in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like if the sun's coming up and it's getting really hot, the rams are like the sheep. They're very woolly. They have all the wool, and so you can shave them basically, or shear them.
Good point. Yeah.
And so this would be like the time to shear. So you would be making, spinning clothes or weaving.
And the same ideology also with slash and burn. It's the same. You shave the forest, you shave the land.
That's why it's slash and burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because that's all Aries time.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and it is a fire sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. The top of the head, Aries. The cerebellum.
Yeah.
The ram.
But then,
which is four.
Four.
Boar.
War.
Yeah.
Spring in general.
Aries is the god of war.
Yeah. Same with
Or is
Mars
he the
also.
god of war?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same with March also. March is the god of war, and Aries god of war. And
yes, and March, we march like a type of synchronized walking.
Yeah.
March.
But you need to have quite synchronized walking if you're giving birth to hundreds of babies in a village at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all marching into the.
Yeah. You have 2,000 Disas
Reality.
making babies at the same day.
Yeah.
Not, now they do every second day, so they have 1,000 to help them. But
That must be the origin of where they say it takes a village.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with Taurus. Tor. I mean, you have Tor.
Yeah.
Tor. So,
And Rose. The Tor and the Rose. Taurus.
And then what about what's the name in Swedish and Finnish for Taurus?
Härkä. Is it? What would Taurus be in Swedish? I need to check so that. It's the oxen. The ox.
The ox. Yeah.
This is also interesting when you talk about it being the neck, because I remember that some oxes or something, you can pull the head out. Like when they bull with each other, they go head against head, but you cannot, like if you pull the head, you can pull the head off this kind of animal.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's where their strength is really in like the shoulders and stuff. Because you don't like with a ram, they're very their horns are very like this, on but whereas a bull, they're more out like a crescent.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's a bull, like a BOWL, a bull, and then a bull.
Bull.
And same thing with a boo. Like a nest is kind of a similar shape. And then you think of bovine, a bovine, which is another word for cows. A bovine.
But the bull is again a chur. It's a TJ-ur.
TJ-ur. Sure. Yeah.
Sonni. See.
Yeah. The Pleiades is in Taurus. The Pleiades constellation is in Taurus.
That's the 7 daughters then. But that's Easter when Gumman come with her daughters.
Easter is a good one. This is back to Aries, which is the Passover.
Yeah.
Which is when the sun is passing over. So this is like Passover or Easter. So it's the and
this has to do with the Eastern Star and Venus and
and let's see. Aries is ruled by Mars, obviously. We already knew that. But Taurus is ruled by Venus.
Yeah. But what do you say? We have 40 days before something is Easter. Something to do with moons.
All right. Well, I gotta bounce.
All right.
Although Gemini is a very interesting one to me, and I don't have anything on it, and that's one of the more mysterious ones to me.
That's why I'm so mysterious to you.
Oh yeah, you're a Gemini, huh? That's right. Yeah. Happy birthday recently.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Oh, and notable mention for Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And I think the planets are actually far more, almost just as or more interesting than the actual zodiac as well, because it really the planets really give the characteristics to the signs also. But I think when we're talking about the sun, SON, it is less the planets and more the archetype, whereas the planets are more of the energy, which is more of the feminine side. So I think that's an interesting, and that's just me speculating. I don't really know. Who knows the author's true logic? We're just trying to figure it out. So give me a break.
Yeah.
But
it's astrology, so we're trying to like believe in the
find
logic,
the logic,
trying to understand the logic.
Yeah, and all the story of the author outside of the Bock Saga is from a point of view outside of the author.
Yeah.
Right? They're describing the author as they think. So like just like in the Oralinda book, when they talk about Finns, they're like selfish or there's like a negative connotation in many ways because they're not them.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas the Bock Saga really seems to give this perspective of like what the author actually thought of themselves and how they describe themselves or their own systems, not even describing themselves as much as just this is,
But it's also interesting if you look up in the Bible for Aser, you find it double S or Aser or such kind of things. But for example, when you talk about Jacob's 12 brothers, then Aser is the happy one.
Oh, nice. Yeah. 12 brothers, right?
Yeah, 12 brothers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so should we wish everybody have a happy midsummer and enjoy the rest of the summer and have you a nice...
Yeah, no, this was a fun. I really, this is one of my favorite topics to overlay, and overlaying Bock Saga onto other things. People think about astrology as a study or a science within itself, but it's always interesting looking at things with a lens of Bock Saga, the Bock Saga lens, and where you can still
also,
it's like if I had like blurry vision and I'm looking at this tree, I can still see the tree and describe it and everything like that, and then I put a lens on and it's just more clear, or I can see things I didn't really see before. It's just kind of something like that I really enjoy playing with the Bock Saga like that, and I encourage everyone else to do the same.
I enjoy also more walking in nature after Bock Saga when something gets connected.
Yeah, and this thinking is like really like it really is exhausting also. Trying to just even have these conversations is like exercise for me. And same thing, now I can go out and just like appreciate things the way just for what they are, and
nice.
Yeah. And so hope everyone had a good Father's Day when you hear this, because I'm about to head off on my Father's Day, going camping and doing the same thing, going to go enjoy nature.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Look at the stars and wonder which one is turning where.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to see them. I should bring my telescope. So
yeah, for sure.
That'll be fun. Yeah, actually, I'm definitely bringing that for sure. Yeah, that'll be cool.
We have moon situation somewhere at half moon, maybe, so.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the weather here. I don't know if they're manipulating it or whatever, but I haven't seen the moon or the stars for at least a month.
Okay.
Even though I'll have sunny days, Yesterday it was like 90 degrees, which is like 30 degrees Celsius. And then at night it's just overcast and cold. So it's kind of cool that it's like hot and then cold and hot and cold. And then some days are just overcast, and I don't know if they're manipulating the weather or whatever, but hopefully this weekend I'll be able to see the night sky and appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have seen the past days in daytime, the sun, the moon, when it's starting with the sea.
Oh, nice. Yes. Well, we'll see you later.
See you later.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.